Our panel members today are Ms. Pearl Wise, Mr. Pete Freeman. My name is Tony Maribel, and I'll be acting as chair. Our first case is going to be a parole revocation. Mr. Segura, would you give us your full name and DOC number?
Yes, sir. My name is Brye L. Segura. My DOC number is 726-765.
Mr. Segura, I want to explain our process to you. I'm going to cover your parole revocation questionnaire. Then I'm going to read the allegations of how you were alleged to have violated your parole. Then I'll ask you to plead either guilty, not guilty, guilty with the statement, or not guilty with the statement. And then at the appropriate time, we will allow those persons who wish to have any input. Currently on the phone, wanting to speak on your behalf is your mother, Ms. Penny Segura, your cousin, Johnny Broussard, and your cousin, Mona Broussard. And then we'll have a full discussion with the panel, and you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say, and then we'll vote. You understand our process?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you have before you your parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Is that your signature, Mr. Segura, at the bottom, dated June the 27th of 2023?
Yes, sir, I do.
Was that information accurate and correct when you signed it?
Yes, sir.
Is it all still accurate and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you ready to proceed with your revocation hearing?
Yes, sir, I am.
I'm going to read the allegations against you, and I'm going to ask you to enter your plea. Number 4, you engaged in criminal conduct on August the 6th of 2022 through September the 27th of 2022 when you committed domestic abuse battery by strangulation and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. How do you plead to those charges?
Not guilty.
On June the 12th of 2023, you appeared before Judge Anthony Salimi in the 16th JDC in St. Martin Parish, and the charges were dismissed. On September, the next allegation is on September the 23rd of 2022, you admitted to consuming alcohol and were referred to Keys Outpatient Behavioral Clinic for a substance abuse evaluation. To date, you have failed to provide proof of enrollment and or attending Keys Outpatient Behavioral Health or any other treatment facility. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
Mr. Segura, your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise. She will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Good morning.
Good morning.
You was released on parole on August the 2nd of 2022. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And these incidents began August the 5th to September the 27th of 2022. Is that correct?
That's what was said.
That's what was said. So tell me what happened.
Okay, so how you doing, Mr. Tony? How you doing, Ms. Wise? I'm kind of.
I know.
This is my life I'm fighting for, Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Wise. This is my life is not disposable. My life has been made a mockery of for the past 330 days.
Mr. Segura, you will have an opportunity to state your position. Right now, we're going to ask you to answer Ms. Wise's questions. You'll have an opportunity to explain yourself and to say all of those things. But right now, she's asking a specific question. So just answer her questions, and you'll have an opportunity to say what it is you'd like to say.
What happened between August the 5th and September the 27th involving the victim in this case? In your words.
That I have no. The only thing I'm guilty of in that matter is of cheating, Ms. Wise and Mr. Tony. I don't want to make me look like a bad guy, but that's the case. This is what happened. She went through my phone. She found some things, and then the next thing you know, from August 5th or 6th to September, you're telling me I abused her this whole time, and nothing ever came about. I want to answer the question, but I need to say everything for this in order for this to
So your statement is you never hit her. You never strangled her.
No,
You
ma'am.
never
No,
hit
ma'am.
her, you never strangled her. Okay. So what was the reason for the protective order that was issued on October the 5th of 2022? What was the reason for that? Do you know?
No, I have a paper here. They dissolved the protective order. There's no.
Well, we don't have that. We show, or maybe the facility can fax it to us. We don't have that. It shows that it's in place until October the 4th of 2024.
No, it says, after execution, the court filed the order dissolving the protective order issued in this matter on October 5th.
Okay. Ask them, can they fax that to us?
Oh, yeah, this whole paper.
It's on the dismissal court paper.
I don't think they have.
It's on the dismissal.
It's on his, yes, ma'am, it's on his St. Martin 2022-258891. The minutes for his dismissal.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Sanji, on a motion from Mr. Sanji, it was ordered that the matter be dismissed. After the execution, the court order dissolved the protective order issued. It's the very last statement right before it said that the court was then honorably adjourned.
Okay, okay. We'll see if we can get that, but right now I don't have that in front of me.
I can email it if you'd like me to.
Yes, ma'am, please.
And it's pearl.wise@la.gov.
Can I read it to y'all first before? Can I just read
Ma'am,
that?
that's one way to get it to me. Yes, ma'am, that'll work.
Okay, one moment, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Tony, and I'm sorry, Ms. Wise. I'm just.
I understand, I understand, but the information I have showed it was still in effect, so I'm glad. So now let's turn our attention to the allegation of not completing treatment. Why?
I have, so, and on the bottom of that paper she's faxing y'all is my insurance policy number. That is the whole reason. I did, Miss Sarah Taylor, probation and parole, asked me to go to Keys for Sober Living, which I did the same day. I went there, I signed up, and I took a drug screen. Passed the drug screen, everything was negative. The only thing I didn't follow back up, being I didn't have the insurance. But being incarcerated in St. Martin Parish Jail, I've got the policy number, and it's on the bottom of that paper, and my mother has the policy number to my insurance now. I couldn't go to Keys for Sober Living with no insurance.
That was not indicated in anything that we had.
Yeah, I know. And she has the paper from Keys from Sober Living also, Miss Sarah Taylor.
Well, I mean, we have the paper that's showing that you did go, you did the assessment, but you had a return appointment that you did not keep.
I never had the insurance to go back.
They told you do not come back until you get your insurance.
No, and I'm gonna be all honest with y'all. They did not say for me not to go back. They just informed me, listen, to do Keys for Sober Living, you need to have insurance. So, and I was at the time, I worked 2 jobs, Ms. Wise, Mr. Tony, not 1 job, 2 jobs. I was back and forth through Lake Charles, DSL construction, and AVAX through painting planes. I worked 2 jobs there. So throughout that time, and I ended up getting arrested ultimately. So I didn't have.
When you're working 2 jobs, how did you end up having time to drink?
Well, and that's another thing. I have never, and I've been on drugs since I'm 13 years old, Ms. Wise and Mr. Tony, and I'm here today to say that for the last 18 months of my life at 30 years old, I've been clean and sober, not smoke nothing, not pop nothing, not snort nothing, but I did, as a working man, working 12-hour days, I did sit at the hotel, I get per diem. Either I can use the per diem to come home with, or I could get a hotel. I did sit at the hotel as a man after working in the sun, 90-degree, 100-degree sun. I did sit down at the hotel with the 5 other people I worked with, and I did open an alcohol beverage, and I did take 2 sips, put it down, and go take a shower. And I admitted that to my parole officer. I didn't hide that from her. I didn't keep that from her. That's the only way she knew about that. I admitted that to her. I told her that, not thinking she would have tried to get me in trouble over it or violate me for having a sip of beer, of Corona at that. And I don't want to be, yeah.
Okay, let me go and stop you right there. And there was another allegation that you went to the casino, that you were gambling with your girlfriend. What do you say to that?
Never. I live by a truck stop. I live by St. Martin Parish truck stop, and they have And they have a Subway and a hot food corner in there. And honestly, I'm there every day eating Subway and the hot food corner. The hot food corner has some of the best hamburgers around, and I'm there every day eating. I have
So
never
so
said.
your statement to me is that you are here, you're in jail, and you didn't do nothing. That's what you're telling me? You didn't do nothing.
For once in my life, listen, I've been on parole for and Ms. Wise, and listen, I'm on the same path you're on. For once, I've been on parole since 2018. Every time I've been arrested, I'm calling the parole officer. I'm calling y'all probation and parole.
So let's stick with this one. Let's stick with this release in August of 22. Let's just stick with this one.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm calling probation and parole to come revoke me because I know that I'm wrong with something. I have never done this in my life because I refuse to say that I did something I did not do. And I still remain innocent as an innocent man today. Not only did St. Martin Parish, the state of Louisiana could not try me and found that I was an innocent man and dropped all my charges, dismissed the protective order. I was also on probation. I went to in front of Your Honorable Susan DeMaye on June 19th. You know what she says? She dismissed my revocation and reinstated my probation. I owe a 0 pounds for parole and probation. I paid, I reported every time. This is the first.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there because you're still getting off this supervision. So tell me this, what do you need? What do you need to get out of jail and stay out of jail? What do you need?
The only thing, what do I need as a person?
Yes.
As an individual, yes. is to pick better people to be around. Because for the first time in my life, I've worked so. I have a $150,000 mortgage that I've worked so hard for that I'm behind now. I have a vehicle insurance that lapsed. Mr. Wise, Mr. Tony, I'm a productive man. I pay my taxes, I pay my bills, I have a mortgage, I have car insurance, I pay daycare. The mother to my child right now can't even work the hours she works because I'm not there to pay for childcare. I have so much going for me and had so much going for me.
The document to y'all email that they'll send.
And for once in my life, Ms. Wise, Mr. Tony, I'm a straight shooter. I would not be sitting, if I did anything wrong and I was wrong and I committed this, I would not be sitting in front of y'all to this day. I would not. Because if I did it, I did it. I didn't. I will not come and say I did.
That's all I have. That's all I have. Let me hear from your witnesses.
Segura, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry for getting
you've been, whoa. Now you answer our questions. While you were in jail, you got charged with bringing contraband in, didn't you? You got
no. I guess no. It was
yes. It was, no. What's the answer? Because you were in jail even after they dropped these charges because you had new charges, having been accused of bringing something into the jail.
Yes,
and you ended up pleading guilty to criminal mischief. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. But
so that's why all the charges were dropped, because the victim said she dropped the charges. She didn't want you prosecuted. You got a new charge while you were in jail. Even after she dropped the charges, you stayed in jail because you had new charges while you were in jail. Isn't that right?
No, sir. This was all taken care of the same day. What you saying is right. I'm not saying that's wrong, but this was all taken care of the same day, and only because the district attorney in St. Martinville said, "Look, man, she wrote an affidavit saying."
Segura. Okay, answer my question.
Yes, sir.
You were in jail on this revocation hold, and you got a new charge.
Yes, sir.
And what was that new charge?
Criminal mischief.
No, you weren't arrested for criminal mischief. You pled guilty to criminal mischief. You were charged with contraband in a penal institution.
Yes, sir. And so was
what was the allegation for the charge of contraband in a penal institution?
Yes,
everybody's wrong but you.
No, I'm not.
Answer my question. What was the original charge for contraband in a penal institution? What did they accuse you of doing?
They accused me of 12 cigarettes. I'm not saying I'm not saying you're wrong on that, Mr. Tony, and I'm not trying to say everybody's wrong but me. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, all these charges were just, I did not do this. I did not commit no domestic abuse. If I would have been falsely arrested in the first place, none of this would have ever happened. I was wrongfully arrested in the beginning.
All right, Mr. Segura. Okay.
But yes.
How long you said you've been using drugs since you were 13.
Yes, sir, I have.
How did you stop?
Last time, because my last time being incarcerated, when I went home, I had my baby girl, and whenever I looked at her and whenever I put that in my life, I knew one thing: if I don't stop using drugs, if I don't get on the right path and get a job and work a job and hold a job and pay my bills, pay my taxes, have a mortgage, I will never have my daughter in my life. And I could not face that fact. So for the first time in my life, I'm here to say that after 18 months of me being clean and sober, and I used drugs since I was 13 years old, I'm proud to say to this day, I'm still remain clean and sober. And
now let's hear from your supporters. Let's hear from your mother, Miss Penny Segura. Ms. Segura, would you please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your son?
I'm Penny Segura, Brad's mother, and Brye has not been in trouble when he was little, and just as he got older, he had a job and met new people. And I'm not gonna say people made him do anything, or like people do what they want. They all fall. He came back up. He was doing so well, and then I don't know what like it just we come out of town, and it's hard to stay away from his friends and his people that all come together when they together. I can't explain. I'm nervous right now, but he really is a good kid. He tries very hard. He has a lot of things going on, you know. He's a very smart child. I've learned that since then. He's learned a lot about himself, and I learned about himself also. And I'm proud that he is my son. But I would really want to be able to go where he would be out of trouble and not. I don't even know no more. Like I would like to see my son get better and do what he has to do to get in his daughter's life and just be the man that I know he can be.
Thank you very much, Ms. Segura. We appreciate that. Is Mr. Johnny Broussard there with you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Broussard, if you'll introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your cousin.
My name is Johnny Broussard. I have my own business, and I told Brye when he got out, he can work with me. I'm like a miscellaneous contract. I do different job, paint and stuff. I've been successful for the last 5 years with it. And I know he's a good kid, but I've been around for a long time, and he just needs to walk his own walk, you know. He said nobody can stop him to do it but himself. And I'm just going to give him a shot when he comes out.
Thank you very much. Is Mona Broussard there?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Broussard, if you'll introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
I would just like to say that he is a good child with a kind heart, but he does just need to do his own way and do Brye and walk the straight path. But I know he can do it because he is a good child. Been around him since day one.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Segura, is there anything you'd like to say before the panel votes?
Yes, sir. I would just like to know, you seem to say, you said everybody's wrong but me. And I'm sorry that you took that from me, Mr. Tony, but that's not true. It's real. Listen, it's real, and I would like to speak on my behalf when I say this. It's real frustrating, and it's detrimental to my life. Mr. Tony, I have a $150,000 mortgage that I'm behind right now. I've been incarcerated for the last 330 days, consecutive, day after day after day. All charges was dropped against me on June 12th. It's August 7th, and I'm still remain incarcerated. Note to date. No one is gonna help me go and do everything I've been working so hard for, staying clean and sober. I have a mortgage through Vanderbilt. I have a vehicle. My insurance lapsed 5 months ago. No one, you know how hard that's gonna be for me to get back up and where I've already was down in life, and now I build myself up to be the man that I am to this day. And like I said, Mr. Tony, if I was guilty or wrong of anything that I was first originally accused of, I wouldn't be sitting in front of y'all to this day because I would have been revoked myself. But I would not say I'm guilty of something I did not do, Mr. Tony. It's just that it's injustice, it's inhumane, it's not right. My life is not disposable, man. I've been trying so hard through life, and finally I got to a point to where if anything I'm guilty of, it's cheating, man, and I should have never, and that's something that I am wrong of. Other than that, Mr. Tony, I pay all my bills. I do everything out there that I'm supposed to do. I've been clean, and so I've been on drugs since I'm 13 years old. For the first time in my life, a 30-year-old man, I'm clean and sober, man. For the last 18 months, I've not smoked nothing, popped nothing, snort nothing. That's the biggest thing I ever accomplished in my life, is to remain clean and sober and stay this way. I'm not out there hurting people. I'm not out there robbing, stealing, killing. I live in a neighborhood, a trailer park of 22 people. 17 of them people, I cut their grass for free on the weekend. I don't deserve to be incarcerated. I hope that y'all find it in your heart, Ms. Wise, Mr. Tony. I hope y'all find it in your heart that I don't deserve me being incarcerated is the best thing for me. I think not, man. I have so much going out there, so much going. And me to be, and I've been incarcerated 330 consecutive days. There's a chance I might not even get none of that credit at all, Mr. Tony. And 70 of those days are solely on just a parole hold. There's a chance I might not get none of that.
Thank you, Mr. Segura. We appreciate your comments, sir. Panel, Ms. Wise.
For me, young man, for me, there's too many moving parts in this. You had a preliminary hearing. They found probable cause in the allegations, although you were not found guilty in court. But the preliminary hearing, they found probable cause that you committed those offenses. We're voting now. For me, my vote is to revoke your supervision and that you complete a long-term substance abuse treatment program while you're incarcerated. That is my vote.
Mr. Freeman.
I concur.
Mr. Segura, you have 2 votes to revoke your parole. Mr. Segura, as I listen to you, I see before me a young man who has got a significant substance abuse problem. I think your characterizations of everything, the way you talk, everything else stems from your substance abuse. And it looks like you've gone to the Steve Hall program. I don't know whether you completed it or not back in 2018.
Sir, I did.
But you need more treatment. I agree with my colleagues. My vote would be likewise to vote, but recommend that you be allowed to have long-term substance abuse treatment. That's our vote. Good luck to you, sir.
Can I ask one thing? What does that mean?
Well, it means that you've been revoked, and we're going to recommend that while you remain in prison, you get to go to a long-term substance abuse treatment program.
And
Get you some help.
what does that mean? That would mean Stephen Hall?
Means exactly what I just said, Mr. Segura. You've been revoked. You're going back to prison to serve your time, and we're recommending that you do get long-term substance abuse treatment.
Even after I just served 330 days consecutively?
6 months of that was for the criminal mischief charge you pled to.
I did this all the same day. Is what
Good
I'm
luck
saying.
to you, Mr. Segura. We'll be closed out at Iberville Parish. Thank you very much for your help there.